Hello, Viking fans, and welcome to the 2022 edition of Viking Talk with Coach Josh Morgan. I'm Brandon Davis, and as always, great to have with us Warren Central head football coach Josh Morgan. Coach, good to see you.
You too, Brandon.
Back in the saddle again.
Back in the saddle.
Wow, it seemed like yesterday we were talking about playoff football, and here we are now getting ready for our fall rendition of Viking football. But let's talk about the spring game. Went up to Delta State, played against a very good Lafayette team. You gave the kids a break. They came back and started summer workouts. Talk about your summer workout program and how did the kids respond to that?
Yeah, we had a good venue at Delta State, and glad our guys got to experience that at another college campus, and so we had a good spring game and played a really good team in Lafayette and felt good about coming out of spring. And our summer was really good to us. Our kids did a good job of doing what was asked of them and what it takes to be successful. And we had a very productive off season in the weight room and in the conditioning aspect. And that stuff's really necessary if you want to be good coming out of the gates. And so very, very pleased with it. Guys did a good job of building up their bodies, getting ready for this run that we're about to make.
Yeah, very good Lafayette program came out on top. Like you said, had a great summer. That's going to lead into this team. So a new year, a new team. Let's talk about him, Coach. Quarterback Jack Wright returns for us. What does he bring to the program, and how has he improved over the summer?
Yeah, this is the first time that we've been fortunate enough to, have our quarterback coming back, and so we're expecting really big things out of Jack. It's a mighty important role to have that signal caller back, and he's progressed. He's got some God-given abilities, and for him to take the next step, it's going to come from getting in depth with film study and preparing like a coach, and those intangibles is what's really going to drive him right here. And we're expecting him to have a good year. We really can open up the playbook with him, and with the weapons that we have around him, it's good to have a returning starter back there, and Jack's going to have a good year.
You talked about a coach, and you're right. Having that quarterback on the field and successful teams, especially what we see in 6A ball, is the quarterback that's almost like a coach on the field. How has he improved? And, I mean, you've got to be happy with that, and also the confidence that he brings to the table.
Yes, when you have a year under your belt, that's just something that you just can't coach, and you can prepare them as much as that you possibly can, but having that experience and having been in those situations before, and having a deep playoff run, when you have that, the game starts slowing down for you. Mm-hmm. The signals coming in start slowing down for you, and when that happens, you just it frees you up so much, and it allows you to be the athlete and to reach your full potential. And that's probably the biggest thing going into this year. It's going to slow down for him. It's already slowing down for him, and he's able to see things a lot clearer and make more instinctive decisions.
Fortunately, he has a lot of skilled players around him. Darius Carter, Trey Hall, Mark Gray, they all return for us, Coach. We should have big years out of those kids. They're going to be seniors. Who are some of the younger guys that you've seen that you expect to step up for us?
Well, those guys that you just mentioned, Mark Gray is he makes us go. What Coach Rob does with him at the fullback position, he is a true thumper, your old school fullback. He allows us to be successful in the run game and in the passing game. Great athlete. He's good with the ball in his hand. Trey and Darius as well are just Darius is going to have a good year. He's lost 20 pounds and really, I told him the other day, you can finally see his abs. But he's going to have a good year. Work really hard. Trey is, healthy, and he's going to have him a big year as well. Trey is, I think, one of the most dynamic players in Mississippi, and so we're expecting big things out of those guys. And the younger guys, as you mentioned, coming in, Maddox Lynch, we're going to do a lot with him. That's Preston's younger brother, and know what we're able to do with Preston last year. And of course, Jack had a lot to do with that, opening things up and allowing us to utilize him. But we feel like Maddox is going to take on that role, but he's also going to give us a presence on the perimeter in the blocking schemes of things. So he's going to be a big weapon for us coming in. And Zach Evans is another guy that is going to probably go both ways. He's going to have to be our downtown threat, our deep threat. He's got really good speed and high football IQ. And another back to keep your eye on. I know we're back heavy, but E.J. Collins is going to be some guys that he can come in and really give us a different gear and allow us to do different things and kind of change the speed of the game up on some certain stuff. So we feel like we have a good core. We also have some good youth up underneath it, and if things go as planned, we'll be a really balanced offense.
Y'all, those guys you talked about, E.J. Collins is one of the ones that impressed me the most, Coach. I think that at the end of his career, we're going to look back and say he may be one of the better backs come out of Warren Central. What do you think?
Yes, he's been just a surprise as far as how well he's picking things up, and I think his vision has gotten better. He's understanding blocking schemes. That's one of the biggest things coming from, middle school, ninth grade, and then you jump into varsity, and so he's seeing things the way we want him to see them, and he's picking up his his pass protection and the little things that we've got to be able to trust him with. But we're happy to have him, and he's going to be he's going to have a major impact as in his sophomore season.
Yeah, Brandon Snowden is our only returning offensive lineman from last year's group. We lost 3 outstanding All-State linemen last year to graduation. But how has this group come around, and what has stood out to you and the staff?
Yes, biggest. I wouldn't say surprise, but it was one of the biggest questions going into spring, and they have done a great job. They've done a great job, and I don't know if we've missed a beat. And to say that is a big compliment to those young men, and also Coach Myers, who is our new offensive line coach, and he's done a really good job of hitting the ground running and getting them ready to go. But those guys have waited, and they have prepared, and this is their opportunity, and they've really done a good job. And so Brandon is the returning starter. J.J. Woods has done a great job. That's Dante's brother from last year, and he's really done a really good job. Bo Davis, you know that guy. He's done a really good job taking over our center position. And we still have got some good battles going on. We've got Jalen Parker and C.J. King and Donovan Jackson. So we feel like we've got a really good 7-man crew there that can play right now, and which is you're going to need that. And they have just done a really good job, and they've turned that question mark almost into a strength already, and that's exactly what you want to see. And they've been a pleasant surprise. Yeah,
going into that game against Lafayette at Delta State, I don't think many had much expectation of what we'd see with the offensive line losing what we lost, but they might have been the brightest spot of that game.
They were. They had a great spring, and they've had a good fall camp so far, so we're excited about that.
Let's talk about defense. We actually lacked depth on the defensive line last season, Coach, but you're bringing back some really quality players. DeMarcus Jones, Anthony Bullock, Roy Qualls, they're seniors. They have been kind of the stalwart of that line. Talk about the depth this year, some of the younger guys you've got coming in, and who should we keep our eyes on?
Well, we've been building that depth. Those guys have got to play big now. They've got a year under their belt as well, and they've got to be the guys now. And it's a different role, when you're plugging and rolling. But now you're the guy, and you got to be a difference maker. And that's what we're expecting of them. That's our most experienced group on defense is the line. Javian Allen is another senior that's going to be able to help us there. So we've got a good core there, and as you mentioned, depth, especially in 6A, is so important, and we're going to continue to work on that. We've got some good guys coming in behind them, talented sophomore class, and they're going to be able to help us throughout the year, and not only the D-line position, but everywhere.
Yeah, Ronnie Blossom, probably a kid that you've got your eyes on at defensive end. It's
yes.
A sophomore coming in, a good range to him. He should be a good player for us.
Yes, Ronnie's been moved him up last year after that 9th grade year, and he helped us last year finish our year off, and we're going to do a lot of different things with Ronnie. Ronnie's got a great motor, and good Lord has blessed him with some athletic skills, and he loves the game, and that really makes it special. So we're expecting some big things out of him and L.J. Reynolds and those guys like that. So they a good youth movement, and at exactly the right time we needed it.
Yeah, well, looking at the linebacker core, Rashad Clark, one of our returning lone seniors, one of our key leaders. He's been around this program for a while. What can we expect from Rashad and also from the rest of that unit?
Rashad, Logan Miles is another Those two guys have been in some battles and battle tested, and again, it's kind of like I just said, they have to be different, and they have to be special, and they have to be leaders, and they've done a good job of that and understanding their role and what we want to look like, and so they've lots going to be on their plate. Julian Demby is going to be a really good player for us, and we're moving him around a lot like Ronnie, what we're doing, and trying to able to really get home on your pass rushes, but also are really good in space. So we've got some good guys there to be excited about. Ben McMullen is another guy that's going to be able to make get some big time reps this year, and it's going to be able to help us out. So that's got to be your identity of your team comes from your linebackers, and we feel good about what we have there.
Yeah, Ben's one of those guys that's really stepped up, helped us last year on special teams. So as he grows, we should see more of that out of him, I would imagine.
Yeah, another, all the way Viking, all in guy, whatever you ask him to do, and we know he'll be ready, and we're expecting to use him in a bunch of different facets too.
Well, secondary coach, I know this is where your heart's at. You're replacing your two corners, but you've had some guys that stepped up in those roles. Talk about them, and how do you feel about the youth in your secondary?
So we're replacing all 4 starters in our secondary as well, and we had we were all seniors across the board last year, and that was another big concern coming into spring. We have worked Cam Wallace, Trey Sanders, and another guy that's really pushed himself into that battle is Ishmael Trujillo. And so we've got 3 that we feel comfortable with, and they're going to battle it out, and we're going to give them every opportunity to compete for that position. And they got some big shoes to fill, and we do a lot with our corners. We put a lot on them as far as man coverage and being strong tacklers, and so it'll be good to see how that works its way out. And but I again feel very comfortable with those 3 where we sit right now.
Well, you're the head coach, but let's be honest, when they're out there coaching, your position coach is also the defensive backs. You're very demanding on those guys, which you have to be. I understand that. How have they responded to that coming in, wide-eyed? They've taken it, drinking from the fire hose. How are they doing with that?
Yes, well, a lot's to be expected of the secondary, Brandon.
Right.
I mean, you can mess up on the D-line and it gets covered up. You can mess up on at the linebacker depth and it can get covered up. But there's nobody covering that secondary up. And, that's where you eliminate big plays from, and that's where that accountability's got to go. And we've had some good secondaries over the years, and it's a mindset, and it's not just, I can't stand the word cover corner. You're not going to be a cover corner. You're going to play football, and we're going to tackle with you and use you in our run support. And sometimes that takes a while to get used to, and they don't just grow on trees. And so we're still working in that area to get them where they need to be, and they've done a good job. They understand that we love them. We're going to coach them, and they have to respond the right way. And they know what it needs to look like and what they need to prove on. That's my job as a coach, but they've done well, and that's going to be a process that it's not going to be over within a couple of weeks. That's one of those that's going to continue to grow, and hopefully we'll get better as the year progresses.
It's always a group I enjoy watching when they start and what they finish.
That's
It
right.
seems like a huge jump from point A to point B. This is Viking Talk, visiting with Coach Josh Morgan. Coach, special teams, Brandon Gillum, one of the best place kickers in the state. He's moved on, replacing him with a freshman, Jonah Artman. Big shoes to fill for that youngster. How's he looked?
He's done a great job. So he's going to be a great kicker. He's going to be one of the all-time greats if he keeps progressing, and I know he will, and works at it hard. And he's going to be good, and all we're asking Jonah to do right now is give us all he's got and be at his very best. And we're going to rally around him, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may as far as that goes. But we're with him, and he's going to know that. And we just want him to put his best foot forward, no pun intended. And we understand he's a ninth grader, but we're going to handle him like he's an All-American as far as coaching him, but also understand that where he is. So we're excited about him, and it brings a smile to my face. It's a neat story behind that, but we're blessed to have him, and still Jack can kick. Cade Fairley can kick, and so we have some guys there that can give us some depth there. But we're putting a lot on his shoulder. It's a stressful situation as it is, but we've got his back, and we're excited because he's made us better.
Well, that's good to see, and it's good to have him out here with us. We talked about Casey Myers a second ago. You know, we lost Coach Bumper Brogdon. He moved on from us, a big loss on the staff and also in the locker room. But you brought in Casey Myers, a fantastic coach from a great program at Sebastopol that a lot of folks don't know about. But Sebastopol is a great program in central Mississippi. So what has Coach Myers brought to this staff?
Well, you know, Coach, again, good Lord blessed us, and that's one thing that we've been blessed with here is our coaching staff. It is a unique group, and it's a special group, and you know, in hiring coaches, you know, I pray and go to work and do my job as far as, you know, looking and trying to find those guys, but that's you know, again, the good Lord blessed us in that situation and how we came on Coach Myers, and he's brought, you know, a level of consistency and grittiness and toughness, but also a guy that really knows his stuff, and O-line is the most important position to coach because those five have got to be on the same page and knows his stuff, and you know, your typical O-line mentality, and he's been a great addition, and has really fit in well, and the kids have responded to him well and taken to him.
Yeah, one of the top young coaches in the state. It's great to have him on our staff. So talk about our schedule really quick. We're going to get into it as the season goes on, so we're not going to break it down much today. But we are opening up with a scrimmage against Madison Central. They are the defending 6A state champs. Coach, I mean, you didn't pull out any punches. You're going right for the best. So this should, though, give you an idea of where your team stacks up.
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea. This is a jamboree, and we're ready to see somebody else, and wanted to play a good opponent, and that we knew it would be organized the right way and get what we needed to get out of it, and for them to be the defending state champs, you know, that just makes it even better. You know, so it'll be a great test. We should know, like you said, that, you know, what do we need worked on, and where are our deficiencies at, and how do we stack up right out of the gate. That's the idea. You know, we want to put them in a big game atmosphere. Let's go ahead and get it all out the way right now, and let's put them in that environment. Let's go to a really good place. Go on the road and play a really good physical football team, and you know, give it our best shot, and prepare our best for it. And of course, we spent all week working on us, and I'm sure they've done the same. So it'll be a good test, and that's exactly what we wanted.
Well, how do you approach something like this? Do you keep it vanilla, or do you try to implement some packages that you want to work on and get some game time reps on it, knowing that if you do that, somebody's going to have tape on you? But how do you normally approach these type of games?
Yeah, well, we weren't able to go full pads until Monday, actually.
Right.
You know, so we're still, you know, so early into our beginning of our season. So, you know, we couldn't get caught up in who we're playing and scheming and all that. You know, what we're trying to do is prepare ourselves and go through our normal fall camp, so to speak, for that week and a half. But what we got to be careful of is we have to prepare them for what they're going to see defensive front wise the best that we can to help them have a successful jamboree. Because the last thing you want to do is not be prepared and have not put your best foot forward and have a good showing and be prepared as best you can. So it's kind of walking that fine line of still focused on us, getting ready, making sure we're conditioned. Still installing a lot of different things, but also you got a game at the end of the week. So about the middle of the week, you know, kind of looked at what front we might see and what they do offensively. Very bland scouting report, if any, and but also wanting to prepare them for them to understand what kind of front are we going to be blocking. You know, what kind of offense are we going to be seeing. So that's kind of how we manage that. And again, really focused on us, but also trying to give them the best look to what they can expect Friday.
Yeah, you're going up against Vic Sutton. He is probably one of the top quarterbacks in the state, a Louisiana Tech commit. Outstanding kid, outstanding quarterback. He was out of the state championship game with a knee injury last year. Looks like he's come back on that, so that's good to see for that young man. This game, we're going to 2 quarters for the varsity, 2 quarters for JV, and I guess your backups. I know you, Coach. I know when the scoreboard comes on, no matter what it is, you want to win. But what do you really want to accomplish on Friday night in this jamboree?
Well, we want to play the guys, we want to give the guys, especially the guys that are still competing. We still have some matchups that we're still competing. We want to give them, fair opportunities to win a job necessarily. But we also want to make sure the adjustments that were made as far as the opponent that we're playing, how do they handle the adjustments and how they handle Friday nights. But the biggest thing is we want to compete. We want to compete at a high level. We want to make sure that we come to play with the right mindset, and that we show the stuff that makes our identity. Show that toughness physically and mentally, and play good winning football, and try to be sharp with penalties and taking care of the football. So we want to be the very best us that we can be. And after it, we're going to be a really good evaluating tape, evaluate ourselves, take a hard look at us. We're going to make mistakes, but it's all going to be on tape, and we're going to use it to make us better. And so we want to compete, we want to execute, we want to be sharp on and off the field with our special teams that we've been implementing. There's going to be a bunch of guys first varsity snap, so we want to be good, and we also understand where we're sitting at, and we can't wait to evaluate it. So it's going to be a really good teaching tool. That's how we're using it.
Well, that's good. Looking forward to that. Well, one of the highlights for me coming out to film, Coach, is always seeing your dad, Coach Robert Morgan, talking to him. He's here lately. He's been riding around his pickup truck. I think he's the smartest one of us sitting in the air conditioner.
That's right.
Or he usually finds a shade. But he's coached you. He's coached your brother Rob. He's coached most of the people on this coaching staff. But how important is it, and how good is it to have him out here helping you guys, and just seeing him out at the practice each day?
Well, he's important to us all out here, and he doesn't miss anything, and our kids absolutely love him. It's like a granddaddy to them all, and it's really unique to watch my father change over the time, and you look up now, and he used to be so so demanding of his players and managers, and now you look up, and it's a true grandfatherness to him, where he's very loving and encouraging, and can still rile everybody up with the shake of the voice, So everybody knows him, loves him, and coaching staff embraces him as well. He's like a father truly to all of us, not just me and Rob, and our kids treat him like a grandfather. So he is Warren Central, and we're glad that he's with us.
Yeah, he still will get on the managers. He's done that in front of me. I watch myself when I'm around him too. So, but no, it is great to have Coach Morgan. Coach Morgan, going into next week, Red Carpet Bowl. We have had Coach Robert Morgan's been a part of numerous Red Carpet Bowls. The 60th Red Carpet Bowl is coming up next week. Coach, you got to be excited about that.
60th. That's hard to believe. Yes, Red Carpet Bowl puts on a good show, and they do a really good job taking care of all the teams that are involved, and all the pageantry that comes with it, and just do a phenomenal job. And their consistency and passion, what they're doing, I have a lot of respect for them, because they bring it every year.
Right.
And they have that energy every year, and they do a good job, from the parking to the putting where to put the teams, and feeding them, and T-shirts, and they'll be back again next year ready to roll. So they're to be commended, that whole committee, and they're fun to work with, and we're thankful that we got them.
Yeah, I look forward to talking about them more next week as we prepare for Forest Hill. But first things, we're going to go over next week, tomorrow night, trade some paint with Madison Central. Coach, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
So glad to be back in the fold
Yes,
here.
yes.
We're going to have a great season. Well, again, we'll talk next week about Forest Hill and the Red Carpet Bowl, but hope that you can join us tomorrow night, 6 o'clock start over at Madison Central, as we take on the Jaguars. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the show. I'm Brandon Davis. He's Josh Morgan. We'll see you next week. Until then, rise up, Vikings.